I love a good ritual. But at the same time, if I'm doing all these rituals and I don't have no faith behind it, then, that's kind of like the foundation of any manifestation is believing that you can have it, believing that it can actually come to pass. And without that faith, you'll find yourself in a state of doubt. You find yourself maybe feeling forgotten or just feeling unfortunate, feeling like you don't got it. And one thing that I always told myself is that I am blessed, I'm favored, I'm lucky. I just tell myself these things. And over the years, it feels more and more real, also because I can see evidence of it being true around me. Welcome to Garner Growth. Welcome to Garner Growth. What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Garner Growth. Today, I'm going to talk to you about faith and developing faith like a muscle, because faith is one of those things that is like a muscle. Some people have a naturally strong faith, but there's also times where your faith can get weak. It can be tested, and it can sometimes feel like it failed you, like you don't have the faith that you used to. And today, I want to show you how to get back to a place of strengthening your faith, feeling connected with it, and that being a way for you to really manifest what you want in your life. We always talk about manifestation and doing different rituals and, just doing all these different new moon rituals and things. Like, I love a good ritual, but at the same time, if I'm doing all these rituals and I don't have no faith behind it, then that's kind of like the foundation of any manifestation is believing that you can have it, believing that it can actually come to pass. And without that faith, you'll find yourself in a state of doubt. You find yourself maybe feeling forgotten or just feeling unfortunate, feeling like you don't got it. And one thing that I always told myself is that I am blessed, I'm favored, I'm lucky. I just tell myself these things. And over the years, it feels more and more real, also because I can see evidence of it being true around me. And that's one of the tricks. So I want to talk to you about how to develop faith as a muscle. When you think about it like a muscle, then you can kind of take away from the mysticism of it and from the feeling of like disempowerment. If you feel like you don't have faith, no, you got the ability to develop it. And that whole fake it till you make it thing that we hear all the time is really not fake it till you make it, but it's continue to develop it until you see that your strength is growing. Because if you're going to go to the gym, you're not going to go and just like pick up the heaviest weight and expect yourself to be able to lift it up. What you would do is you would start small and you would lift them weights and you'd be like, okay, like I can do this. I'm seeing my muscles getting toned. I'm feeling stronger. I'm seeing evidence that I am getting stronger. And so now I can say I'm getting stronger and I'm able to get stronger. So now you go pick up the next heaviest weight, right? You pick up the next size and you lift that. You feel yourself getting stronger. You see that you're actually able to lift it. And it proves to you, I'm able to build strength in this. And at some point you're like, I'm strong. And that's similar to how we can look at faith, which means anybody can do it. And if you used to have a strong faith and you feel like you kind of lost it, just like you have conditioned yourself to, be in better health, maybe run faster, be stronger, and you just kind of fell off and you wasn't doing nothing and you got weaker. It don't mean that that's you forever now. No, you just got to go back to developing, doing what you were doing, working at it. And with everything that we have in life, we got to work at it, and it's actually enjoying that process of growth and working at something and seeing those little actions that you do actually produce real results in your life, even the smallest ones. That's how you work at it. And you start to connect more to the process and the realization that what you do works and the satisfaction of the fact that you can do something about your life. You can do something about all the things that you want. That feeling is empowering. And that is you connected to the process, not to the end result. And so faith really is also a way to look at instant gratification as like, okay, instead of thinking that it's just going to happen because I want it, like I actually have to go through a process and really get to know myself in that process, develop a deeper connection and other connections in that process. And that's where all the glory is. That's where all the good stuff is. The end result is really just a showing of what you've been through. And the longest part of our lives is process, not reward. Reward is like, little bits and moments in our life that we experience. Majority of our life is process. And so why not focus more on falling in love with the process and falling in love with the fact that we can see ourselves developing and growing and doing things and accomplishing things. And that the little things, the rewards at the end are just a show of that, And so with your faith, the show of your faith is, oh, I manifested this. I knew I could have that, I knew I could do this and I could see it in front of me. But the actual process of getting to that is where you experienced like the juiciest moments of your life. So faith for me has been something that's always helped me through like the toughest times in life. I always had this feeling like when life was hard, that it would get better and that it would continue to get better for me. And there was this knowing that helped me to get through things and just to know that they were impermanent, that they were temporary, and that even through the changes that didn't feel good, this change was going to result in something that was better for me. And that was a faith that I had, a knowing. And what helped me to keep that faith over all those years was that it actually started happening. Like I always did improve. I always did acknowledge when I got through something and I felt better. And so that's the part of your developing your faith is no matter how small it is, acknowledging the evidence of your faith. Like I said, when you're lifting those weights, you see a little more tone, you got a new line in the muscle, like evidence, acknowledge that what I'm doing is working. And you'll see this like without even thinking about it, we will go on social media and we'll watch things over and over, repeated things, and we'll start to develop a belief around that. And so that repetition of this thing that we didn't know or believe now has created belief. Like look at UFOs, right? A lot of people were skeptical about UFOs. And, rightfully so, because all the videos are very grainy. But there's now that if you see a lot of videos about UFOs, you keep seeing more and more and more. Now you have more people that believe that they exist because they keep seeing it over and over and over. So, and they have never seen one themselves, right? So just like faith you could say it's blind. It's believing in something that you haven't seen yet. How many of y'all actually seen a UFO with your own eyes, right? But you have this faith, you have this belief that they exist. And then you also have this kind of knowledge that our universe is so vast. We got so many planets. It's just so vast. It would be kind of limiting to assume that we're the only living sentient beings out there. And so the idea that they exist is not so far-fetched. And then now we see footage of it, right? We see footage of it over and over and over throughout the years. People are talking about it. Now it's a belief. And the same way that you could look at that and develop a belief, or you can develop a belief around what a healthy relationship looks like. You see things on social media, Instagram, about this is what a high value person is. This is what a low value person is. You see it over and over and over. And now you have this belief that this is what a high value person is. And this is what your relationship should look like. And you got that from not having it, not believing it, to now you're a believer because of repetition. And so we can use this on ourselves, use this more intentionally on ourselves, and be repetitive about the things that we actually want to believe and want to see manifest in our lives. So if I want to believe and feel abundant with money, right? Abundance is in everything: abundant health, abundant love, abundant experiences and growth. But let's say I want to be rich, right? So I have to believe and be able to see myself as a rich person. And so how could I do that? I could start to visualize it, imagine myself. I can start to say it to myself through affirmations, like I am abundant, I'm prosperous, I am rich, I'm wealthy, I am generous. And so through repetition, you can start to build your belief that you are this person that you want to be. If you wanted to be a singer, you could not only continue to visualize yourself as that, but you can actually do the actions, repeated actions, vocal lessons, practicing singing, making videos singing, learning new songs, singing through repetition, you're actually going to become that singer. And so we have this ability to become what we can see. If you can think it, you can really believe it. And that is even like, to me, that's even a lower hanging fruit than just like seeing something over and over. Like, no, I can imagine myself doing it and I can feel it. And I want to give you this example of something that's really worked for me over the years is I've always known that home is important to me, like having a home. And I know it comes also like when I was a kid, we were homeless for a while. And so we didn't have a home. And so I developed this like, attachment to making sure I had a home and just loving, appreciating any home that I had. And then going from appreciating any home to having a certain taste. And I like, things to be a certain way. And so I would visualize how I want my home to look. I would see myself in it. I would close my eyes and feel myself in the room. And certain aspects, whether it's a yard, a patio, a sunroom, certain aspects of this house, a garage that I wanted. And every time that I did that, I found myself in the place I wanted to live with aspects of what I visualized. And I acknowledge it. Every single time I acknowledge it, like I always get the home that I want. I always end up in the place that I want. And so I keep acknowledging the fact that my faith and my visualizations come to pass every time. And it strengthens that muscle. It strengthens my ability to really actually believe it, have this unwavering faith. Because if it's right in front of you, how you not going to believe it? It's just like there. Like you can't lie to yourself about what you see. But if you're denying what you see, or you're so caught up in what you don't have, and you're so caught up in maybe distracted and lack and complaining that you actually don't acknowledge what you do see, what you have manifested and what you do have, then you're going to miss out on that. And you will feel like you don't have as strong of a faith, or that things are not manifesting for you. But they are. They're like literally right in front of you. And it might not be exactly what you had visualized, but there's a part of that you got. And as you keep acknowledging those little parts, it grows. It's like bricks of a building. And so you acknowledge like, oh, that was in my visual and it's here. Wow. Like I was able to manifest that. Like what I see in my mind actually comes to pass. What I feel in my heart that I want, it comes to pass. And you keep saying this to yourself, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And that's been kind of like my MO for years, forever. And there were times where I, would lose faith and think like, I ain't got it no more. But not for long, not for long, because I would quickly be reminded that like, no, like there might be one reminder where I'm just like, I do manifest what I want. Like this part is here. And I can also acknowledge what I haven't done. I can acknowledge the things that my lack of action, my inaction, which would contribute to maybe why I don't have more of the manifestation or more of what I visualize in front of me. I can acknowledge my lack of consistency, my procrastination, my lack of motivation, and not in a negative way. It's like facts, you just kind of like call it out as it is and forgive yourself, because it is what it is kind of thing. Like it's radical acceptance. That's what it is. When you just accept what is. And so when I accept myself, when you accept what's in front of you and how you accept yourself as you are, then you can call yourself out and notice things that you are not doing that you want to do and acknowledge them. So it's not even like a call out, like put you on the spot in a bad way. It's an acknowledgement. And when I can acknowledge and take accountability and be like, oh, my actions do contribute to what I produce. Like that's just facts, right? And so if I can just acknowledge that in a very factual way, then I can approach it and be like, okay, how can where can I implement more action, or how can I be more consistent, or figure out what am I missing that's making it so hard for me to do this, to be consistent. You might need more support. You might need to have different people around you that are inspiring you to do more of the thing that you want to do, or be more of who you want to be. You might have to change up your whole circle. You might have to change your environment. And so those are things that you have the power to do. But if you don't acknowledge it, then you remain in a state of confusion, blaming, complaining. And at the same time, now you're thinking that you're not manifesting. You've kind of like lost that alignment with yourself. But to bring yourself back into alignment, you start acknowledging what actually has come to pass, the smallest little things. And then you start to visualize more what you want, and you start to see it grow. So just like you would go on a workout regimen, you can make a regimen for your faith, and you can do it through daily affirmations. One of the things I love to do is using like a prime brainwave state when you're relaxed, when you're not thinking about, all the stresses of life because you just woke up or you're going to bed. When you're in this relaxed mind state is the best time to feed kind of messages to your subconscious and help to change your basic way of thinking. And you do it through repetition. So this is the best time to do gratitudes. Say what you're grateful for, visualize what you want. And those are ways that you can work out your faith. You got a morning workout when you first wake up before you got out of bed. It's just a mental thing, so you ain't got to move your body. You have that morning workout session where you just lay there and you say what you're grateful for. And there's so many things, just ramble them off. And then you visualize what you want to see. And you take time to like build that visual like you would a movie scene. And you get into details about how you feel in that moment. If you ever like imagine yourself somebody that you like, this is an example that we can all kind of connect with. Let's say you like somebody and you imagine yourself kissing them, right? Or touching them for the first time, or having sex with them. Your body reacts to that, right? You feel something, whether it's a twitch or whatever, but you feel something, some kind of spark. And you can do that with anything. So let's say I want to visualize myself in this home. I'm going to put myself in that home and feel the comfort of it, feel the warmth of it, feel just the hominess and the gratitude of being in it. Like it's perfect. This is exactly how I want it. And you kind of sink into that and you create this movie in your head, this imagination, and you really allow yourself to feel those emotions that go along with what you want. And you can do that for like 5 to 10 minutes, morning workout. Then at the end of the day, you're sleepy, you're drowsy. Before you go to bed, you lay down and you do the same thing again. And I guarantee you, as you play this same scene and you develop the details of the same scene, it goes from glitchy, in and out, hard to stay focused on it. Maybe, you lose details, to you can jump right back into this like, a Netflix series that you've watched over and over. This scene. You've done this scene so many times. And each time you do it, it becomes more, you see more details. It's like watching a movie for the first time. You really enjoyed the movie, but you miss some things, right? You watch that same movie again, you're like, oh, I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't pick up on that foreshadowing. Or I didn't pick up on this detail. And you're like, oh, that's why they did that, right? And you start to see more character development as you rewatch this same movie. So that's what you're doing. You're creating your own movie and you're rewatching the same movie, creating the scene, and you learn even more. You get more and more into that scene. And you do this in the morning and you do it at night when your brain is more susceptible to entrainment, to your own brainwashing. That's really what it is. You're brainwashing with intention and with love, and for manifestation, which is something that you actually want. And that's just how we're made. That's the beauty of how our brains, how our whole form is made as a conscious being, is to be able to program ourselves in a way that we desire. And if we, we're going to be programmed anyway, just as members of a society. So we can really be intentional and reclaim that power for ourselves and create the life that we want. So remember that morning workout, evening workout, or nighttime workout, and you're getting into the same scene, and you start to acknowledge how that scene becomes more and more real to you. And not only for the manifestation, but also it's very therapeutic because it just connects you with it's a conscious connection. I'm trying to think of the word to say it, but it's relaxing for me to visualize what I want, because I do get joy when I see it come to fruition, even in the smallest ways, or I can see my life going in that direction. But it's also just relaxing to go inside your own mind with intention and not just kind of like, fade into the dark. It's relaxing, try it. So the last part of this too is just like your strength with your body, with your muscles, you will be tested, you will be tried. Whenever you work out, there's reps and sets, right? And then you talk about repetition with it. Reps and sets. But then there's those times where you like try to max out. So you put on more weight, you challenge yourself, and you might be able to lift this thing once. But you did it once. Mentally, you just told yourself, you just crossed the threshold of what you can do. You proved to yourself that you can do more than you thought previously. And you've also strengthened your muscles. You just pushed your body physically to a point where it didn't know it could do it either. And now it's like, okay, now we're on a different level of strength. And so that's how your faith is going to get tried and tested, because you might go through something where it looks like everything went left. But by staying connected to your faith and knowing because, okay, if I manifested this little thing and then it became this little thing, became this big thing, why is that going to stop? Like, why does it make sense for this continuous manifestation of what I visualize and what I know can happen for me? It continues to manifest in my life. So why would I stop doing that because this situation right here feels like it went left? Like, it doesn't make sense, So when you are going through those tests of faith and you feel like, I am like, I lost it, or it's not happening for me, or if you feel discouraged, just remember your faith is something that you've been building brick by brick by brick. And this one event that seems like, a brick fell down does not crumble the whole building. Like, you still went brick by brick, that's still there, right? And you haven't lost it, but it's being tested. And once you get through this test of feeling like you were overwhelmed and you crossed the threshold, you're going to be stronger, because now you get past it, you get back on track, and you're like, oh, everything is still growing in the right direction. Like, I still am on track. I still am manifesting the life that I want. Now your faith is strengthened because you were able to maintain your faith even beyond a challenge that felt terrible, or it was hard, and that's how, even with our relationships, real relationships have to get tested. Like, you can't really be like, I know this person, or I really love this person, if you never have any challenges. Like, you have to go through those things in order to come out on top and be like, we got through that. Like, we did that. And you feel more empowered. You feel stronger because now you have grown beyond the threshold of what you thought you could do. And now you can do even more, and you feel empowered. And it's beautiful. Growth is a beautiful thing. So that, now I'm just like, I feel great talking about faith. It's such it seems so simple and so basic. And we see it in all religions, all spiritual practices. Some people call it manifestation. Some people call it, different things. Law of assumption, law of attraction. Literally all those things is faith. That's all it is. Do you assume that it's yours? Do you have a certain knowing and almost kind of like, I'd say arrogance, because arrogance has a negative connotation. It's really just kind of like a knowing, like you would trust your parent, to take care of you. Or you would trust somebody that has been a best friend that's always been there for you. Like, if you went through something, you can call that friend. Like, you have a knowing, and you have that knowing because they have been there. It's been tried and it's been tested. The strength in that relationship has been built over time and through experience, just like that muscle has been built through exercising, just like that faith has been built through visualizing, manifesting, acknowledging, and crossing those thresholds of doubt, right? So you're going to have thresholds of doubt. And whenever you cross over those, your faith is getting stronger. And so next time you go through a place where you feel like doubt is creeping up and you feel like maybe it's going downhill, that is actually your opportunity to strengthen your faith. If you look at it that way, instead of looking at it as being kind of overwhelmed and overcome by the feeling of doubt or the feeling of fear of what might happen, like, no, like, this is opportunity for me to strengthen my faith. This is like, where there is doubt, there's an opportunity to strengthen your faith and overcome. And so you actually get a choice. And the choice is really in how you're going to perceive it. And if it seems hard to perceive it as the more positive thing, where I'm going to overcome this doubt, then just keep with your repetition, Trust that your repetition is going to give you the results that you want, just like repeating an exercise is going to give you the stronger muscle that you want. All right. So I hope that helps. I know that faith is really the foundation of manifesting the life that you want and just getting through hard times. And so I'm happy that I can share how I feel about it. Like, I feel good now. I do the exercise I told you about, the morning and night every day. And so I hope that you try it. And if you do try it, please let me know in the comments how it worked for you. Just any feedback that you want to share about faith. If you even want to just like jump on this bandwagon and encourage other people to have faith in those hard times where they feel they have those doubts, and just be reassuring to each other, be reassuring to yourself that it always works out in your favor. It always works out in your favor. And you have to tell yourself that and know that. If you need to write it down over and over to help you, to kind of help program it into your mind, then do that too. All right. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and lead with love. Bye.
Like, subscribe, share the growth.
If you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be